happen and you be happy. All right, you ready? Yeah, thank you. Jeez, wake up again, my goodness. All right, starting off, Mr. Zach Aguilar. Look at him, stare at him, cheer for him. Ray Chase. Robbie Daymond. Max Mittelman. Cherami Leigh. Amanda Miller. Yong, Bosch. Oh, welcome to the party. The music's still bumping. I like it. Cool. All right. You guys got pillows. Were you expecting that? Look at your face. Not bad.
I want to take this home.
Well, the good news is you can.
Oh, okay.
It's yours. It's our thank you for being here and being great. So, I figure we'll just get this started. I have something for you. The audience might have seen it before, but I don't think you have. I have a magic sack. It's not very magic, actually, but it is a sack and there's stuff in it. I want you to use your hands, and I want you to reach in there and just grab one of these things. Right. Grab one only, don't take two, don't shake.
Welcome to Vegas, reach into my magic sack.
That's pretty much how it goes.
Just making sure that I know what we're doing here.
This is so funny. I got one number higher than what I got
It's all
yesterday.
Purell in there.
You did this yesterday?
I did.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, did you?
Trust me.
Oh,
It's gonna be good. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, sick, right? My lady.
Now am I? Oh, hello. There he is.
Yeah, Mike.
Of course.
Am I on? Is this thing on?
Captain. Yeah, it's pretty good, huh? Yeah, I totally messed it up. The first time I did this shtick, I just had it down and then it all came out. I look like an idiot, but I still look like an idiot. It'll be okay.
I thought it was great.
Well, at least they liked it, okay? All right, so now what's going to happen is you all have clearly a number. Whoever wants to go first may just read me your number. That number is going to correspond to a pre-written prompt or question that in an ideal world you all address or answer if you feel so inclined and want to humor.
Wait, I've got a question about the process.
I got it.
If we all answered the question, why does it matter who drew what number?
Because the spectacle of theater is
Got it! It's all a lie! Understood.
Show, for God's sake. All right, so whoever wants to go first, you be my guest. And
45!
45, eh? All right.
B.
What was the most difficult part about your career in the beginning of the career?
This moment right now. This is,
compared
this is
to
the
now.
worst, I think.
What was the most difficult part about my career?
In the beginning compared to now.
Getting people to take me seriously. No, I'm just joking.
I mean, in a way, that is probably true for an actor.
Yeah, the most difficult part about my career in the beginning versus now, is, seriously?
This is a 45-minute panel, Max.
I don't, well, you got an answer?
You pulled the number, man!
Yeah, but we're all answering. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
this is your number! You go first!
The most difficult part of my career in the beginning was...
I came prepared for this, so...
You
guys go ahead, do your thing.
I got it. Well, I don't. I'm gonna go with... Here's a different answer, different question.
Whatever you want.
All right, listen, I was a pre-med student for 4 years.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's true. And that was really, really difficult. And
difficult, you failed out.
it was but listen, it was so difficult, but I had like a really strong work ethic, and I switched to theater, and I spent an extra year, I got my theater degree. But I remember like, I was taking biology classes and chemistry and biochemistry, and then we would have an exam when I switched to theater for like workshop, like painting the theater and I remember all the students being like, "Oh, it's so difficult and so many things to memorize and and I was like, I came from organic chemistry just 2 days ago, where I had to memorize all kinds of molecules and interactions and all that stuff, and
The toughest part about early
The toughest
voiceover is
part-
molecules.
yeah, molecules. What's your answer?
No, I'm just here to tease you.
You're just here to make me look good. Go, what's your answer?
No, I want to hear from a Power Ranger.
Don't we all?
All right. Okay. So for me, when I was younger, I was throwing the football in the front yard with my friend, and I'll get there. Don't worry. Throwing the football with my friend, and this kid across the street, which we didn't know, we didn't really play with. He was much younger than us. He just came outside and started throwing rocks at us, and then we're like, oh, that's weird. And then he ran inside, and then his sister came out, and she started yelling at us. Like we were throwing rocks at, and I was like, no, we were just throwing the football, and he started, and then she was like, well, you know what? You sound like a girl, and so I had from that moment on always thought I sounded like a girl, and so the hardest part for me when I first started doing voiceover is like I felt like I sounded like a girl, and so I was always trying to not sound like a girl, but then I realized I didn't really sound like a girl. It's really confusing, but I had this, subconsciously, I was just super insecure. And the other thing about like being in the booth is they hear everything, and so, and I had like, and I grew up in Texas, and so the way we talk there is a little different. And so I had to get out of that as well. And so it was like, it's just a lot of my insecurities were just laid out, in front of the director and whoever else was there, producers and whatnot. And so yeah, it was very scary. But eventually, of course, I got the hang of things, and it was okay, this is all right. But so that would be the toughest thing for me.
You heard at Level Up Expo, if you want to help your friends get into voiceover, throw rocks at them. Got it.
That's the way to do it.
Yes.
Worked for me.
Yep.
Hey, what's this? It's the number 50. What does that mean?
Okay. What's something you think everyone in this room needs to hear right now?
Something that everyone needs to hear right now.
The wrong person pulled this number.
Endoplasmic reticulum. That's a good one. Been saving that one. That's it. I answered the question.
He did answer the question. All right. Would anybody like to add to that? Does anybody want to share? You don't have to. No.
I mean, there's somebody asked, what does it mean?
What is the endoplasmic reticulum? All right, so in the cell, there's lots of different organelles. You've got ribosomes. You've got cytoplasm. You have, let's see if I can remember, mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. The ribosomes, which transport materials in the cell, are on the endoplasmic reticulum. It is the highway of the cell.
Ray, how do you know more than me? And I was
Because I learned it at Palo Verde High School in Las Vegas, class of 2005, baby! We're talking Mr. Franco and Mrs. Waldman, science teachers! Miss Waldman, are you there?
I just needed someone to be like right here, even if they were lying. That would be it.
Zach, how are you
sisters at
enjoying?
Palo?
Zach, how are you
She's
enjoying that?
My
Palo
name is
bar?
Zach Aguilar, and I am highly uneducated. I'm gonna go back to eating this cinnamon roll protein candy bar. It's something. Hey, is there food? There's food around here, right? Like they got some trucks and stuff. I wouldn't know. I'm like in a corner all day.
I want to answer it.
I would love for you
There's
to
well,
answer.
one thing that I've really learned that's kind of made me feel a lot more sane is people on the internet do not represent the majority of people. Most people are actually pretty freaking normal, and that's kind of a relief because I'm like, oh my gosh, like the crazies over here are fighting, the crazies over here are fighting, and then I saw something on Pew Research that was like only 20% of Americans are even on Twitter. Of 80% of all tweets, only 10% of all users make them. So it's just like 2% of Americans that are just real angry tweeting at each other. So like, go back outside and just talk to people. I don't know, like just like, try that. Try that.
Do you know why the insult touch grass is one of my favorite insults? Because it's a great insult, but also excellent advice.
Go touch some grass.
Yeah, go outside and touch grass.
35!
What is your favorite line from any anime, game, show, or movie, and it doesn't even have to be your own?
Favorite line. One of the best lines ever said. That's mid. When Jon Snow says, ah! And then he goes, oh my God, never mind. But the greatest line? There's so many good lines.
It's supposed to be from anime or just anything?
Anything ever.
Anything
Literally
you wish.
anything?
Two mice fell into a bucket of cream. The first mouse drowned. The second mouse swam so hard, he turned that cream into butter and climbed out the bucket. I am that second mouse.
Yes!
That's from the anime Itadori's Castle.
There's so many great lines. Does anybody else have a favorite line from anything ever?
All right. We'll just...
Yeah. I'll take a potato chip and eat it!
Who's up?
Oh yeah, from Brock from Pokemon. I'll take my frying pan and turn it into a drying pan. Best.
Now we're just doing memes, aren't we?
No, it's great lines. It's inspiring.
Who's else got a number?
Number 3.
Why is it so critical to be challenged in life?
Oh gosh, why you gotta give me the heavy one?
Well, you pick the number.
I was like yesterday talking about death. Yeah, like, oh yeah, I got a calendar behind me that has Memento Mori on it.
But it was awesome.
Ask why
And it
do
was
you
well
think
said,
that
and everybody loved it.
Yeah.
I don't remember the question. I also have ADHD. So what was that again?
Why is it critical?
Why is it so critical to be challenged in life?
Okay. I mean, there's many different reasons if you believe in reincarnation. I hope it's not true because I don't want to do this again. But, it's been great. I'm just tired. I feel like challenge is like everything that's ever been like really satisfying in life has felt like it's been on the other side of like my fear. And that's not to say that like, you know, sometimes if you're afraid, it's for good reason and like don't go there. But like every time I've grown, it's usually because I've had to deal with some sort of trauma or deal with some sort of thing and face it instead of running away from it or suppressing it. Because I mean, I'm sure they probably know this, but like I always like hid my emotions through humor and snarkiness. And like I'm only like at 34 now really learning how to be vulnerable and be myself. I'm still snarky as hell, but also like that was a big challenge for me. Was just like, I don't know, instead of running. I don't know, I'm just rambling now.
The most growth comes from challenge, and I think a lot of growth comes from failure, and a lot of that failure comes through the challenge, and you just come out the other side stronger. I feel like we need that as human beings. We need to fail and learn from our failures. And
isn't it? It's also like, like when you pre-med student. Isn't it like when you like
talk about a failure? But had I not gone through pre-med, I don't think I would have ended up where I am now.
Like it wouldn't have given you the frame of reference to realize what you don't want versus what you do want.
Exactly, and I had so many of those along the way too. Like I remember working in laboratories over the summers, like at prestigious at the prestigious Doheny Eye Research Institute. And I remember one time I was at UCLA, like killing maggots under microscopes to get their eye discs and brain discs and like it was really bad. So I had to go through that to like know that is not anything I wanted to do ever, and it helped.
Sound like they might have been hazing you. I don't know if that's something doctors are actually asked to do.
Kill magnets.
Put Mittelman on maggot duty.
Tell him it's for science.
I've literally never failed at anything in my life. I think what they're saying is perspective, right? It helps you appreciate the things that you've achieved if you're challenged in order to get them. You know, we were at a dinner tonight or last night at a really nice place, and we were commenting on how nice it was to be eating out again, because a lot of us have been at home for a long time. We're having a really lovely meal, and then we looked across to the left of us, and we saw this older couple, and they were just miserable. They were sitting there going,
I think the steak is dry.
and we were just like, what world do you live in where you could be in this beautiful place, having this beautiful dinner that maybe you do every night, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe life's a little too easy and it's harder for you to appreciate the good things. So I think those challenges give us all perspective.
We were talking yesterday about the best meals we've ever had, And some of it is because it's a delicious meal made by a world-class chef. But Robbie, you were saying that one of the best ones you ever had was a sack of rice.
Dehydrated rice.
Dehydrated rice you had at the top of Mount Whitney because you worked for it. And it didn't matter what that was. The reward was so commensurate with the activity that you did that it meant the world to you.
Do you ever like have a meal from a restaurant and it tastes okay, but then you make the same exact thing at home and it's amazing because yes,
Holy! I cooked you!
For me, it's the opposite. I cannot cook.
No, don't be. Don't be. What's your number?
no, not your phone number. The number for the
No,
question.
yeah, yes, please. We all understood the joke, right?
No, say a number.
Robbie Daymond, cancel. Yes.
Audience member, say a two-digit number. 21. What's question 21?
Well, hold on. Did everybody answer that? Or does
anybody have
Did
21?
anybody want to go? It's okay if you don't.
Yeah, that's a good.
All right, let's do it. Besides your career, what are you especially proud of?
Especially proud of. What are you especially proud of?
Are you the new Mario? Did you replace Chris Pratt?
I'm especially
Can't
proud of
help
this role.
What's something significant in your life as an individual, besides your career, that you really are proud of, genuinely, that you would be willing to share with us today that maybe we're not aware of? Gotcha, huh?
I don't know. I don't want to be like that person. It's like, but whatever.
But you can be.
I can be. So like, in 2020, I went to this PTSD treatment center for a month, and it was like really, it just kind of gave me it opened my mind to realizing like how my life had been up till that point, and then like what it would be after, and I just feel so like a different person. Like the same, like the core of who we are maybe doesn't change, but like I feel so much healthier and happier. And I was telling my friend the other day that like I finally feel like alive. I know that's weird, like at 34 to start feeling, but if any of you feel like you're not, just know like that can like that is not a permanent situation. Like it's just, I don't know. So I'm very proud of that. I'm also proud of being a chain breaker in my life and in my families, because like our parents are given the best tools they can to deal with stuff, and then their parents gave them the best tools, but a lot of times they weren't good enough or they were bad, and so I'm just very proud of that. I used to say like my career, but now I'm like, you know what, I'm the freaking chain breaker, and I'm excited about that, so.
Thank you.
Can anyone top I am the chain breaker?
I am the chain breaker.
Impossible. Impossible. But I'm sure we all got stuff. Proud stuff.
Just think of like a metal.
You're telling me only one of you's got something you're proud of?
I don't have anything specific, but I'm proud every time I face my fears.
Yeah.
I think that's probably when I'm most proud of myself, is when I tackle a fear. This is the check.
Yes.
Me every time I kill a spider. Yes.
Yes.
Thank God.
I'm proud of my kids. They're like so much cooler than me, and I feel like I've set them up for failure, and they keep just doing cool things, no matter what. They just do cool, you just try to raise your kids, you do the best you can, but I feel like I got lucky, or they're just like, I don't know, my kids they're pretty awesome, and they're cool. Like my son, he's hip, he like dresses right, and he's like, it's like, where did you get this? Because I don't dress like that. Yeah, he didn't get this from me, because he's really cool. But I'm definitely proud of my kids.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing that.
You definitely sort of like, yeah, not stole my answer, but like the thing the most stereotypical thing I was thinking.
You're proud
was,
of Johnny's kids too?
I'm proud of Johnny's kids. Yeah. I mean.
Did I steal your joke?
It's a pretty funny joke, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was so no, I'm just kidding. No, but the same way is I was thinking about this the other day. It's a question. As a parent, you would say, well, yeah, I'm proud of my kids, but not everyone is lucky enough to have a parent like you that feels that way.
I thought you were gonna say to have a pair of kids.
Yeah. No. I think whatever your life choices are, whether or not you have kids or not, if you do choose to have them, the crazy part about it is that it is forced investment in somebody else. And you can invest in anybody in your life, but I think the greatest return you can get is elevating others, and I've always thought that. Like, if you're working with somebody, there's so much detriment to having like a starvation mentality, and if you lift up everybody around you, you're gonna feel better as well. That's not the motivation of why you should do it. So, but when you have kids, if you love them and you're invested in them, you're just going to do everything you can to give them the best, and then that makes you proud. My kids do nothing. They're potatoes. Their 1 year old is nothing. They just got, and you go, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. But like my daughter drew a face the other day, and I'm like, she's a genius. But like there is a pride in that for me is unmatched for sure. Yeah.
Your purpose changes too.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a silly. I hate to like dwindle it down to like a movie quote. Hey, I'm gonna go back to the other question. I got a movie quote. Baby. I'm gonna mess it up, but it's from that Interstellar film where when you have kids, when you become a parent, you just become ghosts for your kids. And that really touched me, because at a certain point it just stops being about you and it's about them. And you will one day be the memories that they carry, and that's all. Yeah. So everybody make some kids this weekend. No, I'm kidding. Don't. I don't want to be a ghost. Don't.
Hey, doesn't this look like a taser?
It does.
I think one of the things that I am most proud of, and I realized I hesitated to say it because it's something that my entire life has been something that people would always say about me as an attempt to hurt me or knock me down. And like, you're too sensitive. You cry too much. You shouldn't be affected by that. You don't need to, and it was me being what I would now say everybody would say is overly sensitive. And now what I'm most proud of is that I'm overly sensitive and I'm empathetic. And I'm like, the roles that I will get cast at, people will come up to me and say like, I really felt this character. And I will go, I'm so glad that I'm overly sensitive, because it's because I was overly sensitive and everybody said, oh my gosh, Cherami, you're such a drama queen, or why are you crying? And now I'm like, I'm crying because I feel and I relate to people and I'm empathetic. So the thing that everybody tried to knock me down and say like, get over it, or get over yourself, or be strong, it is strong to be vulnerable, and it is strong to be empathetic, and it is strong to care about other people, and there's no shame in crying, and there's no shame in saying I'm having a really bad day or asking for help. That is a lot of vulnerability and a lot of strength. So if you're in a situation where you're like surrounded by people that are saying, get over it, or you shouldn't be sad about that, or it's not worth it, or other people have it worse, your pain and someone else's pain is not a contest. Your feelings are valid, your pain is valid, and asking for help is not something you should be ashamed of. It is a strength, and you should be proud of it.
Wow, everybody's had such good ones. When this question first came up, I was just gonna say I'm proud that I'm the best Halo player in this room. But yeah, no, I think throughout my life and even throughout my journey, doing all of this career, I've always been pretty easily influenced and persuaded, just like a young kid starting out, like, hey, how do you do this? You're doing that, cool. I think that's the best way to do that as well. Like, oh yeah, you should do it this way. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll do it that way. And I think that has shown me that everybody truly does have a different path in not just their career, but in life. And even if you try to do something that somebody else has done, you can't be hard on yourself for it. You can't say, oh, this person did something like that, and I did that and I failed, so I must just suck, like I'm just horrible. Because that's not the truth. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, and I think just growing constantly in life is something I continue to discover and realize I have to pave my own way. It's never gonna be in the shoes of somebody else. It's gonna be a brand new path.
Poetry. Thank you. Thank you for those that shared. Thank you very much. Would anybody else like to go for it before I ask you something else? All right, I can take a hint. Do you mentally and or physically have to get yourself into the mode to create? You're about to start work, whatever that may be, in a creative space. Do you have any things that you do physically or mentally to prepare?
For me, well, when we were going to the studios, I'd have to have the lights always like down, lights, so that my only focus is the script and the screen, and that's just the way I work. And some directors they're super funny and they like to joke a lot. And some of you guys probably know the people, but like for me, I'm like, that's funny joke, but I really want to stay here, you know, especially if it's a serious moment. Like, I'm not, that's just because I'm not that great of an actor. I need to just be in this area. And so otherwise I'll lose my focus and maybe I'll say it wrong or I lose that emotion that maybe I was feeling, you know, building into this. And so for me, I just like to have the lights down and then, you know, that there, and hopefully the director's just kind of guiding me rather than making a bunch of silly jokes. Unless, of course, it's a silly series, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's how I do it. I do that in my own studio too. It's like down. I have like certain color lights in there to just kind of set the mood for me, so I can just kind of focus. I always felt weird though, because when I'd go into the studios, some of them they would go in there and start turning the lights down. I'm like, oh man, I'm a weirdo now, aren't I?
I love music. So for me, when and I didn't realize until we were recording from home, how much as much as I hate traffic, and in LA there's no shortage of it, but I loved getting to sit in traffic and like get lost in the music, and I didn't realize how much that sets the tone for sessions. One of the weird things that I love to do is watch really well edited trailers where everything is like synced really well, and it will inspire me if a trailer is like if their head turns around the accents and the music is great. Then I'll get ideas for like, well, this is something I want to write, or this is a character I want to create. So really well-edited stuff that is very well-timed with music. I think music is incredibly important. So that's probably my favorite way to get into a creative zone.
Anybody else?
I mean, it's not really a ritual. It's more like I created a creative space in my house recently, and I love it because it was originally the master, but I'm like, it's just me and creepy, my ghost, old, Big George.
Big
so
George.
Like, I don't like being in this big room by myself at night. So I moved into like a smaller room, and I made the master into like I have like a big green screen. I have all these lights. I have like all of my, I have like just different colored gels for the camera. It's my studio. I have a mannequin that I use to set up my shots. I have all my costumes. I have a rack of wigs, and it's so much fun. Like I close that door, and I'm like, all right, what are we doing today? I'm like turning on my like cool strobe lights.
Name?
I haven't named her yet. If anybody wants to name the mannequin.
Jolene!
Did you say Jolene?
Jolene!
That's fair. That's my
You guys
song.
all shouted at the
Yeah, I
same
was like,
time?
weird. Oh. I don't know, I feel like Jolene is kind of like, she's sassy. Like she's sassy. And I took the clothes off of her because every time I tried to move her, the clothes would move. So then I forgot that I left her in front of the window. So I think my neighbors probably just think I stand in the window naked and just stare at them. But yeah, no, like it's nice to have like a separate creative. And I got like all these like 90s curtains and 90s rugs because it reminds me of the time that I felt like the most free and like not, it's just like back in the day, just playing in the backyard, being like, yeah, I'm a freaking dragon, what of it? Like, you're not like, what's the motivation of this dragon? Like, you don't overthink it like, when you're a kid. So I'm trying to get back into that space.
Strangely enough, that's my pre-show ritual, is I have a single spotlight that I stand under naked for 1 hour before every...
Yeah.
And I just stare into the darkness, yeah.
You like glare aggressively at the neighbors, just like standing akimbo.
Yeah,
just
correct.
Like, fear me, witness me.
How did you know?
Because I've gotten the complaints.
That's why she moved to Georgia.
Yeah, that's literally why I moved to Georgia. I saw too much.
If you could design your own game or anime, what style of story would you go? What plot direction would you go in?
No idea.
Okay.
I like dark stuff. Do you guys know like Satoshi Kon? One of my favorite anime was Paranoia Agent. I mean, that was Satoshi Kon, right? That'd be very embarrassing. If I'm like, this guy, and they're like, that's not who did that. I love like psychological thriller stuff. Like it's creepy, but it's not like, I don't know, I love stuff that, or like The Others, like the movie with Nicole Kidman. Like I love stuff that's like scary, but it's more of a story. So I would definitely do something like that, where it's either a balls to the wall comedy or completely psychologically scarring horror stuff. Those are like my two modes.
I recognize that when I say this, everyone's gonna be like, she is such a nerd. It would be time travel related, where people will go back and meet their ancestors and work through their own issues with their ancestors. Because stuff gets passed down in the
That could
ancestral
work.
line. So you go back in time and see other people's stuff, but I know everyone's like, she put time travel and therapy?
No,
Really?
that sounds like that'd be a great.
I mean, yes.
That'd be like a show on like the Oprah Winfrey Network, like
Yeah,
time
yeah.
travel, family
Yeah,
therapy.
exactly. Vanya fixed my life.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Thank you. I think that would actually be cool.
Well, great. Then we have one person who would watch it. Thank you so much.
Actually, there's a anime called Doraemon, and I play a character named Nobi, and because he's such an idiot, he ruins his family's lives, and so they send a robot cat from the future to help him in all his things to not be such a screw up.
Wow.
Yeah.
A robot cat from the
It's like the Terminator,
Kinda
but like
like that.
cutesy anime.
Yeah. But not terrifying.
All right. What is more challenging, creating from nothing or creating from something? I.e., voicing a role for the first time, or creating a story, or having the story laid out for you and you kind of just have to fill in the pieces. Is there any part of that artistic process that you enjoy, you find challenging, fulfilling?
Demetrius, you come in here with the loudest shirt, with the pillows, with orange game show host microphones.
I didn't
and you
design
ask the
this
most
stuff.
philosophical questions.
Well,
I'm
I feel
not prepared for this.
I mean, you always get the stereotypical who's your favorite character, what voice do you like the most? I want to know you guys as people. You're actors. I know you got good things to say.
But none of them want to know us as people. They want to hear Zach.
Do you guys
Well,
want
I
to know them
don't
as people, or
I
you
don't
just
know.
want to see them do voices all over? They are valuable as people, right? They're not just their characters. They're cool.
Yeah, but how about a question like, who can make the silliest fart sound?
Who can make the silliest fart sound?
Zach, go.
Okay, hold on. I'm
Let's
prepared.
do it.
All right, here we go.
It's gonna be cool to see everyone's techniques. I do the in the mouth one.
Silent but deadly.
Oh,
Then just
I
be the
never-
SBD. Just be
this
quiet.
is
and
so
then
off
you'll be
brand for Cherami, right?
No, I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, I've
Make
never,
a toot sound!
I've never done this in my life.
Make a toot!
Be an. You've never tooted in your life.
I've never.
Now
had
that I believe, that I actually believe.
I've never.
Jeremy doesn't have bodily functions, guys. Sorry.
I am the robot cat from the future.
I'll do one for you.
Yeah, okay. Max will be my stunt person. Yeah.
Jeremy, this isn't girl power.
Oh,
Max with the best.
wow.
Have Max do it for you.
I'm glad this devolved. Good
Why?
job.
I'm
Yes.
ashamed. Let's see. I don't know. I'm probably just a mouth person too.
Ooh, nice.
It was a wet one. It wasn't as big as I hoped, but I think it was hearty, and I think that's what's important.
Johnny, surprise us.
Yay! You're welcome.
There's a voice actor. I mean, she might have already shared this story at another con, but she has a really funny story of a time where she made a fart like the little one in the booth, and they were like, oh yeah, we really love that take, but there was a little sound in it. She's like, I can just redo it. It's fine. They're like, no, we can save it. We just need to like isolate that sound to like just cut it out. And they just kept scrubbing back and forth over it, and they were like, what is that? Like they get the director to come over. They're like, what is that? I don't know. It sounds like, and then she's just like dying inside. She's like, please let me re-record it.
There was a day we were at Funimation and everybody was there all day long, and there was a guy that kept saying, I need this. Okay, it's gonna sound terrible. I need everybody to send in whichever girl comes into the studio today, like 2 minutes. I need them to do a quick audition. And we were all like, okay, great. Well, then the word got around. The actor needed to do a burp, and she couldn't do it. And all of us wanted to be the stunt burp, but I don't know what it was. We were drinking so much soda. We were practicing we're like, I got it. And I was like, I can do it. I know I can do it. I was the last one of the day because I was like, I can do it. I went in there, I was like, I can't do it. I don't know what's happening. And the whole day I'd been like, I got it. I've got it down. And I couldn't do it when it counted.
Sad.
It was so tragic.
Yeah. Now ask us a question about the afterlife.
What do you think happens when you die? Tempt me, I'll just do it and then see what you go with it.
Wait, I have a number.
You do?
Yeah.
What is the number?
37.
All right, 37.
And the question is, what happens when you
Yeah,
die?
exactly.
What is your morning routine like?
My morning routine when someone dies.
You're MOURNING.
You wear black.
Yeah.
Gotta dress in black.
Long veil.
Cry.
I've never cried in my life.
I believe that.
What do you do in the morning when you wake up? Like, does the alarm clock like play a part in it? Are you a healthy person? You wake up in the morning and like stretch and work out and be philosophical and read, or you just kind of wake up and...
I have a 1-year-old, so all of my routines are gone. Totally destroyed.
You're a ghost.
I'm a ghost. I'm the ghost of my children now. Yeah, I have I used to have routines, but they're all gone. They're all gone. It's all over. I'll get them back someday. One routine I have when I do a con, the first night I'm there, every night I kill a drifter first thing, and I have a great show.
Yeah. Sacrifice it to the con gods.
Are we gonna play this game?
He
I like to
said
play
that.
a game at panels during cons to see how many murder jokes I can make before people start to go, does he really? I found it's around 3. It's around 3.
I feel like that would be the best thing though, is like hide in plain sight.
Yeah.
No, if you talk about it all the time, you're the last person. So like I make jokes about like the body in my yard. Like I have this like just giant body-sized like mound in the front yard that my neighbors are like, what is that? I'm like, I don't know. Like F around and find out. Like
The
let's
thing,
see.
Yeah.
You know?
the thing is, by calling that out, you're kind of, it's like nobody would believe that you actually killed someone at this point because you're like, I have a body in my yard. Isn't
Right.
that crazy?
Right, and if I make a joke at every con
It's
where I kill
so-
someone the first night.
It's such a great idea. I'm just saying, like, it's gonna be a true crime podcast. It's gonna be like the Ballad of Robbie Daymond, and they're gonna be like, man, he said it all the time, and we didn't take it seriously.
Well, I think you guys ended it on a strong note. I gotta
the
tell
end,
you.
no,
That's
no,
the
that
end.
be the end,
So,
that be the end.
ladies and gentlemen, give them a round of applause. They are lovely. Do you guys have any closing remarks?
Yeah, how about you give it up for this guy over here?
Don't do that. Don't do that. You're here for them. I'm just the guy with the mic. Thank you.
We're just gonna relax.
We got our pillows.
Can we trade pillows?
Trade pillows?
I'm gonna go home with Robbie's.
I don't.
A little kiss. There's a white one.
All right, guys, we'll see you for the next one.